Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I would like to say a pleasant welcome to this exclusive interview on two-way radio and TV based in the United States of America. Those of you watching us across the world, would like to say welcome to this special interview. And us on two-way radio and television, the chair on rules, order, and administration, and also the representative of Nimba County Electoral District number 9, the Honorable Johnson Gwaikolo. It's my pleasure. Let me say good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning. It's a pleasure to have me.
Let me say happy pre-independence to you.
Yes, thank you. Wish you the same as we celebrate 175 years of independence of this republic. We'd like to wish the general public a happy Independence Day and let this day be a day of reflection. So we can look at things that we've done well and look at things that we need to strengthen so as to make positive impact in this country.
My name is Fakwa Taylor. Welcome you to this special interview. For the sake of our viewers out there and listeners, first we'd like to a little bit about Honorable Johnson Gwaikolo.
Okay, thank you. I'm Johnson Gwaikolo. I currently represent Electoral District number 9 in Nimba County. I was born and raised in Nimba and had the occasion to come to Monrovia get some education. And so I've served in various capacities in the government of Liberia prior to this responsibility. And so I'm happy to be at the legislature, the 54th legislature. I started as chair on the Committee on Education, and after 3 years, the Speaker, by his authority, appointed me into the Committee on Rules, Order, and Administration. This is the committee responsible for the daily operations of the House of Representatives, the logistical support, staff benefit, legislators benefit, and general upkeep of the building. So generally, that's who I am, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. And how is electoral district number 9?
Electoral District number 9 is good, and I always take my hats off to them. Not only that they elected me, I appreciate that, but the level of cooperation and support has been very, very good. And that is key, because no matter what you do, if you are elected, you remain engaged with the citizens. And if they see your output as productive and cooperate with you, then it can make things a lot easier. So I like to say to them, Electoral District number 9 has 5 administrative districts, and all of them have been very supportive and cooperative. You can't do all at the same time, but generally our engagement with them has been positive and much appreciated.
Now let's move back to the legislature, the House of Representatives. How is the 54th doing?
The 54th is doing okay. We are 5 years now. This is the 5th year into the 54th, and so our engagement has been such that we are promoting and pushing the legislative agenda of the government. Some pieces of legislation that they pass, that they bring to us, will pass. Some others that we have questions with, we'll put on hold until we can get the clarity. So far, the positive interaction has been good. And I like to say to the general public that yes, most of our actions have been coordinated properly. There are some times that we, yell at each other, but again, that's a general legislative practice. But other than that, we are moving along very well.
Okay, recently, Honorable Gwaikolo, you joined the CDC, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. I joined the CDC and became a member about 2 months or so ago. And that was a manifestation of fulfillment of the commitment I made to CDC some time ago, 2005. At that time, the CDC went into the second round of elections, the presidential elections. And so I was in a different party, but I committed to them. I work along with them. I even serve as a co-chair on the campaign management team. And since then, I've had that affinity for them. I've looked out for them. We work together, especially so since we ascended to the 54th legislature. I've looked at their programs and their thought processes and work along with them. But I've been doing it as an outsider, sitting on the fence in my own party that I was a member of. And at a certain point in time, I said, no, it's more productive, particularly as you come towards the close of the administration, to get involved directly and look at the different adjustments that the party itself needs to make to deliver appropriately for the people at the end of the tenure. So that's the decision that we made.
Did you consult the people of electoral district number 9 before coming up with such decision to join the ruling establishment?
That was a necessary thing to do, and the consultation started. But I can say to you that the depth of the consultation was not as it should have been. I didn't go back to do town hall meetings and so forth, but I talked to key persons in the district just to let them know that this decision is being considered. Some were favorable, some were not, you see, and based on the assessment. Even my previous party, I did a consultation with the party chair and some key persons in that party. And, we got to this point, and I said, well, I believe my own will, views that I've heard from some of the people, I think it's appropriate to move and make this decision. So we made this decision.
Joining the ruling establishment in CDC, because you contested on a different political party during the 2017 election, you won. Now, joining the ruling party, what impact is it going to make on your political career?
Well, the key thing and major thing in the political system structure of this country is that the parties, the ideologies are not that far apart. We don't have a quote-unquote communist party or a pure socialist party. Everybody operates within the capitalist structure. And so we all think similarly. So the impact is not going to be adverse. People will accept, sometimes they differ with the personality. Sometimes some of the practices, people may differ with it, but generally we are the same. And so you join a party with a view to contribute. You see, I want to make a party. I don't want the party to make me. You see, that's the principle I have, and that's the thought process I have that I've gone into this party, even parties I was in before, because it's what you can contribute to the party. What is it that the party is doing well that you want them to continue to do? What is it that the party is not doing so well that you want them to make an adjustment? And so I don't come into this party to say I got a magic wand, everything that is been doing, not correctly will be just changed overnight. No, because there are die-hard partisans that are met there. There are people who are grounded, who have their own philosophy and principles and values. I have just come to add what I can, to enrich, meaning in terms of ideology, and in terms of managerial, practices and concept, in terms of leadership, so that we can, end the lap in a successful way, when 2023 comes, so that people will say, oh, at least things are better.
It is rumored that you're joining the CDC is because next year you'll be contesting, probably be re-elected, and the CDC has promised to make you deputy speaker. Is that a key reason why you joined the ruling establishment?
The only condition that I join a ruling establishment and the party is to make a contribution to help to deliver the pro-poor agenda. As an insider, I've been helping as an outsider, and I thought it was very important for me to join in the group, with the group, and be a part of the process to directly support it and be, hanging heads with the colleagues who are there. Everybody aspires to a higher elevation, or higher level of situation, but no, we've not had any discussion to that effect. And if you go into an arrangement with that kind of precondition, then is shallow, then is not in good faith. First, you must look out, for the benefit of the general public. That's very important. Anything that follows is an extra. You see, so if you go into a discussion, you don't go into a discussion in that frame of mind. You simply go into a discussion and say, look, I have come and you've invited me. I have come to be a part of the system, part of the process, so that the things you said you were going to do that enumerated into the proper agenda, so that we can review that and look at it. Because one of the things I asked for is I need to have that document, so we can all look at it closely. The part that I can contribute to its success, I will do so.
Where do you stand with the huge public criticism of this ruling establishment, the CBC? Many have complained about high governance, corruption, insecurity. Where do you stand on that, especially at this time, joining such party?
Generally, I stand on all forms of corruption, all forms of insecurity, all forms of bad governance. What I would say is that one should not and cannot attribute that to a particular government. No, we will be celebrating 175 years tomorrow as a nation, where we declare our independence, not gain, but declare our independence. And administrations that have come up to this point have had their share of bad days, meaning experience, corruption. They have experienced bad leadership, bad governance, and so one cannot attribute all of that to a particular administration. I'm concerned that when there's a public outcry on a particular ill in society, the government should attend to it. There's no question about that. So if something happens that threatens the security of the state, or even threatens the security of individuals who live in the state, the government should respond, to it in a way, a manner that that threat level will be eliminated or reduced. So that concern is a concern that all of us should have. I'm concerned that, when there is no transparency in some actions, and when there's that observation made, by partners or even individuals, government should attend to it and take the corrective measures. If government doesn't do that, then you say, well, the government doesn't care. But one must be also careful that the criticisms will increase now as we approach the electioneering exercise, because there are opposition politicians who are government in waiting. So as far as they are concerned, between now and October 2023, this government will not do anything good. You see, so that criticism will be coming. But in between the line, then you have to look and figure out which of these concerns is truly a genuine concern, or which is just a political talk, to make the other person look bad. So those are the realities that we should look at. And yes, the concern that we have comes from, the inception of this, our nationhood up to this point. We hope and pray that there will be more things done better, by the time this government comes to its successful conclusion.
5 years now.
Yes.
How can you grade this government? What's your impression about the coalition for democratic change government?
Yes, it's good that a coalition came about, because it's a small country. Like I said, the political institutions mostly surround an individual. And so a coming together of the thoughts of those politicians, political institutions to form a coalition was a good thing. You see, that means we narrow the field where two major groups, the coalition and the CPP as it was at the time, were there. More heads are better than one. So a group like that, they confer with one another on their different thought processes to be synchronized into how they can deliver the leadership arrangement for this government. So we hope and pray that indeed the coalition will continue to exist. Where you have two persons, there will always be some misunderstanding periodically. But those misunderstandings are only intended to review the views of others and come to a commonality and then move the process forward.
What is the anticipation and prediction for next year, 2023 presidential election?
I will expect President Ria to be re-elected. I will expect that, the CDC-led government will be granted a second chance, a second tenure, and we have to work hard to make that happen because the first tenure has been good, has been okay, but the second tenure will be better. Why? The learning curve in the first tenure of any elected official is difficult. In spite of all that you have done, you will use that as a platform now to review yourself and say, well, I was there for 6 years. I did this well. I didn't do this one so well. So I'm going to build upon that and see what I can do to change things and even make things better. You see, so that's why President Weah should be given a second chance, to lead this country. Concerns that have been raised, those concerns that are raised in good faith, have not fallen on deaf ears. If you recall, President Weah has even used the word recalibration. He has even given his cabinet ministers ultimatum. You have to go out. And when President Weah first started, he was slow in making adjustments. But now, he suspended cabinet ministers. He's taken some actions, against people who are not performing well. And you hear, LACC indicting people, who they believe, have performed poorly in terms of, transparency and accountability and fair play. The president that allows that means that he's hearing from his citizens and responding, in keeping with the rule of law.
So now another issue that is coming up on Gwaikolo, you just mentioned that the president will be re-elected next year. But the issue about viral connectivity across Nigeria, there are many citizens who are not happy. That would just be an issue of an action that the government or maybe the citizens will take against the CDC government. The issue that has to do with the poverty rate, viral connectivity across Nigeria.
Well, yes, there are concerns with the road conditions. There are concerns with the general economy, no question about that. But on the road conditions, I will say to you that if President Weah has one of his strengths, that is it. Because we see road work going on in all parts of the country. In Moserado, in the Monrovia area, you see community roads being connected. Yeah, sometimes the quality might be questionable.
Your own county, Nimba.
Yes, exactly. Nimba County, the road is being connected everywhere. And the trunk road, the main road, from Ganta to Seklepie, from Seklepie to Tapeta is now under a contract and they are doing preliminary work. From Tapeta to Zwedru is being considered now. It will soon be, put out there, to go through the bidding process. You come from Ganta to Sanikule to Kample to Logwato. Those trunk roads are being done. And that's a means of having access to those parts of the country and even having international access that can bring in goods and services. Now, the general economy, the poverty rate, we are a country like other countries that is not an island, is what we call it also a community of nations. So the global impact has an effect on us. You recall that this COVID-19 pandemic, and we can't put everything on COVID-19, no question about it, but it created a condition worldwide. You see, and we thank God that the devastation that occurred in other countries, we didn't experience that. But companies, investors who could even come here to invest into our country had to take a second look because of the COVID arrangement, the restrictions, they couldn't move here and there. So the growth of our economy was stagnated because, of a factor like that. We see that things are turning around a little bit. We are happy that today We even have a budget estimate of 806 million. What that means is that the capacity is there now for us to generate that kind of amount of money for government to operate with. It means that things are moving on the right trajectory, and things are moving in the upper direction. So we are happy about that.
Okay, now the next thing is that it is being speculated across the world, and like all of the corridors, it is discussion about 30,000 United States dollars that was received by members of the legislature. Can you confirm that you received 30,000 US dollars?
Let's discuss it this way. Monies that are put in the budget, that's legitimate money that should be expended because the budget is the law. With reference to the 30,000, that amount was placed in the budget.
Was in the budget?
It was in the budget, yes. Under what you call legislative engagement and constituency visitation. Now, the reason that nomenclature was given was that whenever lawmakers are elected, beyond the three cardinal responsibilities of lawmaking, oversight, and representation, the fourth unwritten expectation, is you go out there because the constituents, the people there don't see, for example, the Minister of Education. So you as lawmaker, you become Minister of Education to them. So they bring their education requirements to you and say, oh, we want a school here. They see you as the Public Minister because the Public Minister doesn't go there. So we want this road. They see you as a Health Minister because the Health Minister doesn't go there. So they want this clinic. So to help the process, because all of us have been working from our own personal resources, a decision was made that let's put this amount there to help the lawmakers to engage their communities in areas that are.
Was this only for members of the House of Representatives?
It was the entire legislature. Okay, it was for the entire legislature. And so I don't have a problem with that. You see, the problem I have is the representation that is being made now. The media, the political people, we have to be factual. There's nowhere in this country or even in the world where lawmakers are required and expected to build a clinic out of their own pocket, but it happens here. Why? Because even if government's income was to go to $1 billion, you see, it would not be possible for government to undertake projects everywhere in every town. You see, so for example, in my own area, and those who are dodging, either for political reasons or to make other people look bad, are doing that badly and in bad faith. So for me, I have no problem because I know when people go in my district, they will see more than 30,000. Yes, they will see more than 30,000. So I got no problem to tell people that yes, once it's budgeted, and it's intended to come to me, I will get it. Now, based on experience that we are having now, because the representation has been poor, perhaps the next thing to do is not to allow that amount to come to the lawmakers, but rather put it through an agency of government that will carry on the project instead of the individuals. Let's continue just to struggle. If my people need school and this agency is not able to put a school there, I will find a way and do it. But in the future, the process should be that it should not be placed in the budget because it's being misrepresented for political reasons or whatever reasons it may be. How will people go and say, oh, and then you come and tell somebody, oh, I didn't receive it. Oh, yes, I received it. Then, we are honorable people. You see, maybe you say you didn't receive it because you don't have anything to show in your district. You see, for example, in my district, there's a town called Gwaikolo. Around the area, schools are there, government schools are there, but because government has limitations, it could not build a school in Gwaikolo that has, a large student population. So we put a building there, a school building that is more than 30,000. Yes. In Zanzeye, we collaborated with Acres of Hope Belgium, and we built a clinic. That clinic, yes. In Mela, We have a library building going on because we're going to elevate the school to a high school. We're going to have a library building. That library building, when it's completed, it will be more than 30,000. We have a radio station that was upgraded. You all know about media arrangement. Radio station that was upgraded. You put that radio station together, it's more than 20,000. We have a district legislative office. So in my district, now you go there, you will not have to go to the town hall or anything. You have my own office there, district office that will be there for whoever goes there as a lawmaker. You complete that, has been completed, is more than 30,000 or so. We have a modern ferry that will be able to transfer vehicles. That vehicles will cross between Bond County and Nimba County, which will make access to district number 9 and even points beyond much more better. That ferry alone is more than 60,000. So yes, the 30,000 help. It help. So all these projects you put together, more than 300,000-400,000. You see, so if you can get 30,000 as a push from government, you accept it and go and work with it. You see, and so the noise, that people are making, and our colleagues who are saying, "Oh, we didn't do this, we didn't get it, we didn't get it, we got it, we didn't get it." Maybe some of them who are not going to show in their place.
All of them received it.
Yeah, the legislature was in the budget provided that amount for every lawmaker to receive, whether you're in the Senate or in the House of Representatives.
Okay, it is good that you're the chair on Rules of Administration, the chief administrator of the House of Representatives. There have been speculation that there was a plan to purchase vehicles for all chief of office staff. Can you confirm that, sir?
No plans have been made to purchase vehicles for chief of staff. No. The House, we are in the same House, in the same legislature, but you got the Senate and the House of Representatives. There has been no point in time where a decision has been made. Discussions have been brought up. In the Senate, they have 29. If you include the pro tem, they got 30 chiefs of the staff. In the House, we have 73 chiefs of the staff. So the Senate, has usually, because their number is few, their budget is different. They have flexibility, to go that route. For us, it would take more, you see. So that discussion has come up, but no decision has been made, because the funding has not been available to provide vehicles for, chief of office staff.
Okay, is there any final message before we take leave of you?
Well, I say thank you. I say thank you to the media. I say thank you particularly to your team that has come here this morning to just give us a platform to share with you, some of our thoughts and so on. What I always tell our young people is that electioneering is an exercise that presents itself for us to follow a particular political organization, political ideology, and put our trust in who we believe can lead us. It is not a time to fight one another. It's not a time to insult and abuse and disrespect one another. You can clearly state your political differences without getting vocal, without getting, using invectives at one another. So I just call on us, because at the end of the day, we all come from the same place. Like, we're so small, with less than 5 million, and so that is my passionate appeal to my young children, sons and daughters, who will be the vanguard of political electioneering, as the time approaches.
Will you still be seeking re-election next year?
Yes, I am seeking re-election next year. I'm prayerful that indeed we will be successful. Like I said, the people of District 9 have been very, very supportive, and we hope and pray that they will see reason, to give me another opportunity to work with them 6 more years.
Thank you so much. His Honorable Johnson Gwaikolo, representative of the Electoral District number 9 in Nimba County. I'd like to say thanks to this patient who is in studio in the United States of America, also assisting. On behalf of the entire team, my name is Taylor, say have a wonderful time.